Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and it is time to start taking viewer queries that have already started piling in. Rajesh and Kunal are here to answer all of your questions. If you've got one and you're asking one for the first time, just a quick reminder, we can only answer a stock at a time, and you've got to tell us your time horizon. So if you're a short-term trader, then tell us that. If you're a long-term investor, then do mention. And if you bought the stock, tell us what price you bought it at. The first question is coming in from a long-term investor, senior citizen, former bank employee. This is Deepak, and he's writing about bill care. So this one's for you, Rajesh. He's bought at levels of 71, which is approximately where the stock is currently trading. If you've got coverage, could you give us a sense as to whether he should hold or exit at this point?
About bill care, Alex?
Yes, Bill Care Limited.
Right. The fundamentals are not that good. It's in a pharma packaging business, and in the past also there are history of some problems going. So it's better to be out of this stock, because since you are a retired person, I don't think you should take this kind of risk. Be in a better quality names in a frontline counter like a HDFC Bank or a Sun Pharma or a Cipla. That would be a better bet than this.
Right. This first query we've got from YouTube. I mean, this one's from Mr. Balan, saying that he has 1,000 shares of RBL, which he's purchased at the level of around 180 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should hold or add some more, or rather switch to ABFRL. What's your take on this one, Kunal? From RBL to ABFRL, what should he do?
Well, switch to ABFRL. That's a much better bet. And I think looks also quite attractive on the short-term to medium-term chart. So I think without any doubt, I will suggest a switch towards ABFRL.
Okay, Kunal, this one's also for you. Rajan from Bengaluru is asking about ICICI Lombard, which he's bought at levels of 1440. He's asking for a short-term target on this counter.
Well, I think from a short-term play, you've bought at high levels, so possibly you can look to average at current zone. I think the insurance stocks are slowly and steadily making a comeback. So it would depend on the kind of time frame which you'll have. If you have a time frame of at least 3 months, then there is a possibility that stock can come back towards 1400. But I would suggest an average at current levels.
From Kaji, and this one is for you, Rajesh. He wants to know whether it's a good time to take position in Relaxo footwear. He's saying the valuation has become a bit fair and he would like to hold on to it for the next 2 years. But does it make sense to go ahead and add Relaxo to the portfolio?
See, the company is doing very well, and the balance sheet is also strong. But if you compare the size with other peer group companies, the very small companies, I would say rather go for a Bata if you want to win in a footwear stocks. But as Kunal said, IBFRL would be a better play in the entire consumer space. So I would say avoid Relaxo if you have not bought it as yet.
Okay. Kunal, this is seemingly an either-or question. Poonam wants to know, between Tata Motors and Tata Power, which makes more sense to buy at the current price?
Tough one, but I would probably give Tata Power more, slight advantage because of the way the stock has been consistent enough. And I think looking at the crude oil factors and domestic and the global news flow, I think it's best that you probably look out for Tata Power as a slightly better bet, because then Tata Motors is affected with a lot of these news flow surrounding for itself. So Tata Power is what I would probably prefer out of the two.
I've got a query coming in from someone on YouTube where the name is not mentioned, but he's saying he has 2 MRF shares and he wants to know when to sell it, but he's not given a buy price. Kunal, will you be able to help him?
Well, again, depends on what's your acquisition price. If it's like decades back, then I don't see any reason why you should be looking to sell. But I think if it's a sort of a recent purchase on the stock price, then you can probably look to maybe continue to hold on, and if possible, you can look to average. A lot of these tire stocks, they've now come back to a zone where they are looking very attractive to investors who have a time horizon of at least 1 to 2 years plus in that sense. So I believe that it all depends on your acquisition price or buy price. If it's at higher levels, then you can look to average. But if it's at far lower levels and many years back, then you can continue to hold on.
Okay. I must point out to all the viewers that are tuning in that flattery does not necessarily work when you're trying to get us to answer your, or get your queries taken up. But you can still try. We've got Dikshita who's asking about universal cables and whether it can be accumulated at the current level. Rajesh, this one's for you. Currently trading at around 140. Would you say that it's a good place to accumulate?
It's a good company, no doubt. Balance sheet is strong. The workings have been good, but the only problems is volumes on the market are very low. So entry and exit is quite a problem with this kind of stock, and when a market goes in a consolidation phase. But still, if you have a longer term horizon, or by longer term I mean 12 to 18 months time horizon, you can accumulate.
All right, this one is from Shanmuga Sundaram. He's saying that he has Huhtamaki India that is purchased around 200 shares at a price of around 175 rupees per share. He's saying, can you please analyze it has bottomed out for averaging, Kunal?
Well, I doubt. I believe that the stock has in fact actually confirmed a breakdown on multi-years of charts. It's broken a 6 years of support trend line for itself. So if it sustains below the 170 mark, then I believe that there's a higher likelihood that the stock can get into a multi-month, multi-quarter correction for itself.
Okay, we've got the next question coming in from Vivek, and he's asking about the best real estate company. He's looking at the best real estate company, Rajesh, with the best land bank. And he's got a very, very long time horizon. He's looking at 20 to 30 years. I don't think anyone can look that far. But for the long term, which would you suggest is a good real estate company to buy?
Already always maintained that real estate as a play is not for retail investor because there are a lot of problems associated with of inventory, corporate governance, interest rate, and a whole lot of things. But still, so if somebody wants to be in real estate and with a land bank story, I think Century Textile is going to be a big story because their subsidiary Birla Estates is doing very well. They have launched new projects and they have a whole lot of land in Worli area. So, and when you compare with valuation to its peers, it's trading at a much lower valuation. I think this can be giving a return of around 40-50% in the time horizon around next 12 to 18 months. So one can accumulate Century Textiles.
From Sagar, and he wants a view on RHI Magnesita, which was formerly known as Orient Abrasives. He's saying that he's bought about 3,000 shares at a price of around 250 rupees per share, which he's saying was the breakout levels. But he wants to know whether now he should hold on to this particular counter for the longer term as the trend is intact and metals keep going up. Rajesh, do you track this one?
See, abrasives as an industry is doing very well, and with the kind of China factor coming in, I think there is a whole lot of scope in this industry. So one can carry on with their existing portfolio, and if some dip is there, one can even add to it.
Okay, Ajish wants to know whether this is a fair price to buy Infosys. Rajesh, on the valuations front, would you say that this is the best price to buy Infosys? If not Infosys, which would you say is attractively priced right now?
See, IT as a sector has done very well in the last 2 years, and I think still there are a lot of scope in the stocks in the sector. And Infosys being the market leader, I think one can very well stay with that. TCS is also a good bet, but I think the valuation are stretched at this point of time. If it corrects by around 10%, then TCS can be bought. But at this point of time, I would recommend either Infosys or a Tech Mahindra, which are better on valuation parameters.
From Ronnie George, and he would like to get an opinion on Suprajit Engineering for the longer term. Is it a good time to buy this particular counter? What's your take, Rajesh?
I think it's not a good idea to be in a stock like Suprajit at this point of time because a whole lot of problems are going on with auto pack as such, and it's better to be in a frontline names. If you want to be in auto, why not into Bajaj Auto or a Maruti? Or if you want to be in auto ancillaries, I think LG Brothers would be a better play.
Okay, I'm not really sure. So Anjali, okay, Anjali is pointing out that she's got a March expiry option for ITC. The strike is 238, and she's holding on, Kunal, based on your recommendation. She's wondering what to do, whether she should roll over.
Alex, I'll have to repeat the question. There was a bit of an audio glitch. I couldn't hear the question.
So she's holding March expiry ITC, and the strike is 238. She's wondering whether to roll over the position to next month.
Alex, apologies. I missed the stock name.
ITC, we're talking about ITC. She's saying she's done this based on your recommendation.
I think if it's if I'm right, it's ITC. Yeah, so I would suggest a hold on ITC. My sense is that the stock is getting into a different league altogether, a rally which I think has not happened for ITC since since the last 4 to 5 years. There have been a lot of confirmation in terms of trend for the hold.
Okay, I think we have some issues with Kunal's feed. Hopefully, we'll get that fixed soon. But this one is from Manoj. He's saying that he's holding Amara Raja batteries, which he's purchased at 800 rupees per share, around 125 shares. He wants to know whether he should hold or exit with a loss. Kunal, if your feed is up right now, would you want to talk about Amara Raja? Okay, I think we've lost Kunal's feed. So what's your take on this one, Rajesh? Amara Raja batteries. Manoj is actually sitting at a loss with this one. Should he continue to hold on to it?
Of course, one should continue to hold. The company is doing very well. It's just only short-term blips that has happened. But if you look at the OEM market or even the replacement market, both of them are doing very well. I think one can continue to hold, and if one's funds allow, even one can add.
Do you have a view, Rajesh, on Vishesh Infotechnics? If you do, we've got Sai Krishna, who's holding 15,000 shares of this counter, and he's looking for a view on this. Should you hold or should you sell?
I'm sorry, Alex, we don't track this.
Fair enough. Would you like Biocon for the long term? Arjun wants to know.
Of course, yes, it's doing very well. The biological division is doing well. Insulin is doing well. It's just a short-term blip because of their acquisition. People are more concerned about the interest cost going up or the margins going down. But for a longer-term horizon, I think it's one of the stock which one should hold for a longer-term portfolio.
All right, this one is coming in from Priya Singh, and she's saying that she has 100 shares of NIIT, which she's purchased at around 598 rupees per share. She wants to know what should she do with this particular counter. What's your take on this one, Kunal, NIIT?
Just to hold on, the stock has come down from those 600 levels to 550, 555. My sense is there is a possibility that the stock can even drag a bit more lower from current levels, can come back to say a 520, 500 as well over the next few weeks. So if you're looking to average, I would suggest wait out for the point where the stock comes closer to 500 mark. That could be a good level we can look to average and hold.
Okay, Aldo wants to know about ICICI Lombard General Insurance. I believe you've taken a short-term view on this. But Rajesh, on the long-term view, he's bought at levels of 1,337, so losing a little ground. Should he hold on?
See, things are not doing well with the insurance pack as a whole. If you see, the entire pack has been underperforming since quite a long time. And I don't find any reason to believe that they are going to perform in the near future because the numbers are not that good. If somebody wants to be in insurance, I think HDFC Life or SBI Life is a better play than ICICI Lombard. So I would say switch from ICICI Lombard to SBI Life or HDFC Life.
Okay, this one is from Achal Jain, and she's saying that she has IRCTC, which she had purchased at 1,380 rupees per share. This before the split. She wants a long-term view on IRCTC, given that the tourism and hospitality sector is actually bouncing back as COVID has receded. So she wants to know whether IRCTC can actually scale new highs, and can she look to buy afresh for her sister? What's your take on this one, Rajesh?
Of course, it's a buy. It's a very good company. If you look at the divisions, all of the divisions, be it ticketing, the rail need division, catering, or a tourism division, all four are doing well. And with the unlock theme, I think this is the best play in the unlock theme. It's cash positive, no debt, and it's almost monopoly in the ticketing business. I think it's giving a very good opportunity to accumulate at these price, 780 or 800 odd levels for a long-term horizon. And I believe if somebody holds for 2 to 3 years down the line, I won't be surprised if new highs are taken.
Okay. Gentlemen, it's time to hit the rapid fire segment. I don't need to tell you the drill. You know it. We're going to start throwing questions at you now. The first one's from Mr. Parsi. He's asking about IDFC First Bank, which he's held from levels of 54, and he's wondering whether to keep holding. This one's for you, Rajesh. Should he keep holding for the long term?
No point. It's not performing at all. The numbers have been bad. I think you have better bets in the banking sector itself.
Okay, this one is coming in from Kavi and talking about Vaibhav Global purchase at 745 rupees per share. Should I average, hold, or book losses? What should Kavi do, Kunal?
I'll suggest to book losses and exit.
Rajesh, Ambika Cotton, Vardhaman Textile, Trident bought last week and losing a little bit of ground. But the viewer is a long-term investor, RK Ahuja. Should he hold on or should he switch to something else?
Of course, all three are hold. Vardhaman we have discussed in the pre-BSN segment. And we are very bullish on the entire sector. One can even add.
This one is from Kumar and he wants to know, can we enter Adani Wilmar at this price? What's your take on this one, Rajesh?
Of course, it's a buy. They have been doing very well. The Fortune brand is doing well. They have recently bought some rice mills in West Bengal. I think the company is going great. One should add to the stock even at 500 odd levels. I think there are a lot of stake there.
Kunal, Supriya Life Sciences, do you have a view for the short term? We've got Naresh asking.
I think a short term, I would suggest to buy the stock at current levels. It's nearing a multi-month breakout for itself. Even though the chart history is limited, I would suggest a short term buy.
Tony Anthony, Garware Technical Fibers, 100 shares purchased at 1600 rupees per share. Should I book profit or hold for the longer term, around 3 to 4 years? Rajesh?
One should book profit because these kind of companies, you never know what will happen in 3 to 4 years. Better to book profit.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Rajesh for joining us on the show. That brings us to the end of the query segment on the show. Thank you for sharing your views on the China Plus One strategy, the sectors that are in focus, as well as resolving our queries. And viewers, we will be back tomorrow with the query segment, which will start at 11:15 a.m.